What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news. And before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. I got more exclusive news for this video, some more leaks from Jordan Brand, and some of the highlights include the return of the Air Jordan 9 Space Jam and the Air Jordan 8 Chrome in fall 2026. As well, we had the release of the Air Jordan 17 Low Black Patent in fall 2026. Now, there's going to be more from Jordan Brand and a good amount from Nike. And now, let's jump into the news. If you missed out on the Nike Air Max 95 OG Blue Tint, there is another chance to purchase. Now, these actually dropped back in August, specifically on August 21st. However, they just popped up on the Sneakers app and are set to debut on October 22nd. The official colorway is black, white, medium gray, and blue tint. For some, unfortunately, this is a women's exclusive release, and the retail price will be $190. About a month ago, I talked about the upcoming Nike Air Max 95 Zip. I showed off two colorways. One of the colorways is known as Loyal Blue. We now have additional photos of that pair. And the official colorway is Loyal Blue, Hyper Crimson, El Dorado, Bright Crimson, and Black. So the Air Max 95 Zip was initially known as the Air Max 95Z and launched in 2001 as a women's exclusive. It appears that this time around they're going to be available in men's sizing as well. And to go over this pair of features, mainly blue throughout, but the upper is constructed with suede and the obvious standout is the zipper shroud. Now, peering just above the zipper shroud, you can still see the tongue with Air Max branding. The pair also features bright crimson accents, and El Dorado, which I believe is a shade of brown, lands on most of the midsole. Within the Air Max unit, we have a pink hue, and then black runs across most of the rubber outsole. Unfortunately for this pair, we don't have a specific release date, but it's part of Nike Sportswear's Holiday 2025 collection, so that means the release will take place between October and December. Also, the retail price will be $210. The NIGO Levi's Nike Air Force 3 Low Pack released today via Human Made. This includes two colorways. Now, the reason why I'm talking about it, even though it released, one of the colorways did pop up on Nike sneakers, and that will be available at a later date. But I do have the specific release date. But the pair features an olive gray, summit white, navy, and metallic pewter colorway. Personally, I like this colorway better. I like the washed out look. And if you're a fan, they're set to drop on October 16th. They'll be available on the Sneakers app as well as Levis.com. Also, the retail price will be $150. Nike Basketball officially unveiled their Halloween 2025 collection. Now, this will consist of 5 silhouettes. I've shown off 4 of them, but I'm going to go over them briefly again in this video. And the first pair is the Nike GT Hustle 3 in collaboration with Victor Wembanyama. Now, each pair kind of has a theme to it, although this pair, it's not 100% clear. Yes, the overall theme is Halloween, but each pair also has like a deeper theme to them connecting to Halloween. But this pair features a melon tint, black, total orange, and barely vault colorway. You know, this pair could be inspired by aliens. I know Wemby's nickname is the Alien. It does have some green accents, but if you look on the outsole, there's like this weird footprint, almost as if it's like an alien type figure, or it could be a handprint of an alien. Other than that, it does have embroidery on the upper, which kind of looks like eerie smoke. And then it has his slogan, "Be unique every day," on the tongues. So as for a release date, this pair is scheduled to drop on October 21st. The retail price will be $210. The next pair is the Nike Book 1, known as Scorpion, but it's part of Nike Basketball's Halloween collection. Now, I did go over this pair in the previous video, but since then, official images did leak. I'm a little bit disappointed because in the official images, it doesn't show if the outsole glows in the dark. It really looks like it does. Maybe it doesn't. Of course, I was speculating in the last video, but the pair features scorpions across the upper, done in black, and it has an iridescent finish. You can see the tongue in these images. It does have book across it, kind of like in a spooky font. Then it has a light green on the rubber outsole, which, again, I kind of believe it glows in the dark. But this pair will drop on October 21st. The retail price will be $155. The Giannis Freak 7 will also join the Halloween pack, and this pair is known as Shapeshift. So the inspiration for this pair is werewolves and the transformations, and it features a wolf gray, smoke gray, digital pink, and metallic silver colorway. As you can see, it features furry materials on the tongue, which is a nod to werewolves, and then it has a shade of gray on the upper, but adding pop, we have neon accents on the laces, and then pink lands on the heel liner and outlines the metallic silver swoosh logo. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure how that plays into a werewolf, but it still looks nice. Now, the insoles also have a flannel print across it, and then his logo, GA, it has a Halloween makeover. Again, this pair will drop on October 21st, and the retail price will be $125. Next in the collection is the Nike KD18 Slim Reaper. Now, this will also drop for Halloween. And with the official images, we do get to see a few additional details that we hadn't prior. Now, we knew about the glow-in-the-dark outsole, although we haven't seen images of it. I'll make sure to include it here. The official photos show that off. But the overlays where the skeleton hand is will be 3M reflective. I actually like this look a lot, and obviously named Slim Reaper is due to Kevin Durant's nickname. But this pair will also drop on October 21st, and the retail price will be $170. The last pair part of Nike Basketball's Halloween 2025 collection is the Nike Jaw 3 Spooky Season. So initially being called Halloween as well as Zombie, and the official colorway is Light Lemon Twist, Hemp, Bright Crimson, and Black. So this pair will also glow in the dark, although it doesn't show that in the official photos. But what's cool about this pair is the insoles. So it features a zombie graphic along with zombie and graffiti print. It seems like from the collection, most people are flocking to the Jaw 3. I just think the Jaw 3, a lot of people like it. Personally, I like the KD18 the most, but this is a close second. Still very clean. And like the other pairs, they're set to drop on October 21st, and the retail price will be $140. Now, with this whole collection, it got me feeling like the old days, like back in the early 2010s. Nike Basketball would drop collections for every holiday, and they kind of slowed down doing that. Hopefully this is a good sign that it's officially back, but let me know your thoughts on the entire collection below, and how would you rank each pair? You know, sometimes we receive first looks, and I'm reluctant to share them in news videos, not because it's not a dope shoe, but more so it's just one photo, the quality is bad. So in my opinion, there's really not much to showcase. Now, this is one of those times, but the difference is we now have a release date for the shoe, and this is the Nike Kobe 5 Protro Lower Merion Aces Away. As most of you know, this is an original colorway that dropped back in 2010. News broke some time back that they would be returning in 2026, and this is a first look at the 2026 pair, and to me, comparing to the original, it does look on point. It doesn't look like much has changed, but again, it's the one image. The quality isn't that great, and more so, I'm just sharing this image because we do have the release date. So this pair is currently scheduled to drop on March 23rd, and the retail price is $200. Also, I almost forgot to mention this, and I do feel it's important. This pair is for Kobe Bryant's high school, Lower Merion, which he attended in Pennsylvania. So just want to make sure I get the information out. I feel that history is as important as release details. After being showcased on the Sneakers Live, we now have a detailed look at the Nike Air Flightposite 1 Midnight Navy. Not only that, we have a potential release date. The reason I'm saying potential is because it's not confirmed, but they're going to drop in November. I'll let you know the official release date in a moment. But for this pair, it features a multicolor in Midnight Navy colorway. The multicolor is due to the foamposite shell. It has an iridescent finish. It looks like there's shades of blue and purple mixed throughout. I kind of like it. It looks pretty dope. The zipper shroud is also dipped in Midnight Navy. You might notice where the swoosh is, where it's cut out. That will also be iridescent, part of the foamposite shell. The shank plate on the lateral side, it has a metallic finish as well. I'll be honest, it still looks cheap. I know that was the issue for me on some of the Flightposite releases in the past. And of course, the medial side. Every time I have the chance to, I'm going to bring it up, hoping someone at Nike maybe sees this and changes future releases, but you guys gotta fix the midsole. It's gotta come up. It can't be flat like this. I'm not the only one that has complained. A lot of other people have as well. So hopefully they will fix that. But other details includes the swoosh on the tongue outlined in white. And then we have a navy rubber outsole. So as for the release date, they're currently scheduled to drop on November 21st, and the retail price will be $250. From Nike, there was a couple pairs that I leaked the other day, but I'm going to talk about it in this video. And the first one up is the PSG Nike KD6 collaboration. Now, the image used is just a mock-up. I grayed out a pair of KD6s, added the background, so the pair is not going to look like this. However, the official colorway is white, college navy, global red, and hyper royal. So essentially, it's the PSG colors. PSG is short for Paris Saint-Germain. And this will be the first time, to my knowledge, that they've actually worked on anything on the KD line. I could be wrong on that. If I am, please let me know down below. But for this pair, you can expect co-branding throughout. And we probably won't get a first look anytime soon because this pair is expected to drop during the fall 2026 season, so that means a release will take place between July and September. Also, I don't have a retail price as of yet. The other pair that I leaked the other day is the return of the Nike Kobe 3 Protro Orca. This pair initially dropped in 2008. Now, it was brought to my attention that the pair wasn't originally being called Orca. Now, I did a bunch of research and I noticed that multiple websites have called them Orca. Also, Nike is officially calling them Orca. That's direct from my sources. But it was the Kobe 2 that was known as Orca. Now, I believe this pair was just called Black and White. Back then, I honestly can't remember the nickname, even though I was around in 2008. Now, there has been times that Nike has used nicknames for different models, and even if the Kobe 2 re-released in the Orca colorway, they would be called Orca as well. So it's not taking over the nickname or anything. It's just what Nike's calling them now. Now, the official colorway is slightly different in comparison to the 2008 pair. This will feature a black, canyon gold, and varsity purple colorway. So I don't notice any varsity purple on the 2008 pair, which is shown here. So the color description could be a mess up, but these were on display at a recent meeting. So you can expect the pair to come back like this. And as for a release date, they are expected to drop fall 2026, which means a release will take place between July and September. Also, the retail price will be $210. Months back, we learned about the Air Jordan 14 Golf Bordeaux dropping. Now, there was a mock-up made, and what's releasing looks a lot different compared to the mock-up. However, I don't think the goal of that mock-up was to be accurate. It just represented what the pair could look like. But with these look pretty nice. I wish they weren't a golf shoe. I definitely would pick them up. Now, the official colorway is white, Bordeaux, and black. And as you can see, the pair is constructed with leather. It kind of has a black toe makeover. Yes, it features black on the toe, but on the panels we have a quilted finish. Now, we only have a few images, but the Bordeaux lands on some of the branding throughout. Now, in these photos, that toe box looks really shiny. I know the black toe 14, it's constructed with suede. Here it's leather, so it could be due to the lighting as well why it's so shiny. But as for a release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but they're expected to drop this holiday season, and the retail price will be $235. Product shots of the Air Jordan 4 Cozy Girl, also known as Hemp, have arrived. These come from JD Sports, and I will admit these are the best photos we have. They look pretty clean. The color blocking, that is. I'm not a huge fan of the hairy suede that's on the ankle and the tongue, as well as the fuzzy laces. But again, this will be a women's exclusive release, and the official colorway is Hemp in light Orwood Brown. Now, we do have some Cell, which lands on the midsole and some of the branding. These won't feature Nike Air. It will have a Jumpman on the heel. And overall, they do look warm. They remind me of like a boot. Kind of has like an UGG vibe to them. I think it's just the fuzzy materials. But this pair is currently scheduled to drop on November 1st, and the retail price is $220. It seems a bit high. Prices still continue to rise. At $220, I can definitely see these sitting. New images popped up of the Fragment Union Air Jordan 1 High OG in white and black. Now, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this colorway, but I will say that I'm happy it will feature a black rubber outsole. And the little hits of blue are kind of nice as well. It's right behind the collar. But as most of you probably already know, this is one of 3 colorways expected to drop in spring 2026. Now, when I initially heard about the pairs dropping, I heard that it was a regional exclusive release. So this pair is expected to be a Japan exclusive. Now, one thing I can't confirm is how limited they are, because I've been seeing a number, and that number is 4,700 pairs. So that's just a rumor for now. That seems really low. If pairs are getting out this early, I believe that there's going to be more pairs available than 4,700. But unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date. I'm hearing February, but that isn't confirmed. And the retail price is expected to be $205. We have new images of the Air Jordan 11 285, which is part of the upcoming Air Jordan 11 regional pack. And this pair represents Atlanta. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people not feeling this release, and they seem to be from Atlanta. They're saying there's no real Atlanta inspiration. Now, according to Jordan Brand, the nickname 285 is for the interstate that circles Atlanta. As well, the tie-dye reflects Atlanta's street art culture. But a lot of people are saying there's nothing tying to like the Georgia Peach, which Atlanta is known for, or the 96 Olympic Games, something else Atlanta is known for. I guess you could say on the tongue, the branding is white, red, and blue. It could be Olympic colors, but if you're watching this and from Atlanta, let me know if this is a good representation, what would you have done differently, and so forth. One thing I will say though, is it looks nice in hand, and it should, because they're going to cost $255 is what I'm hearing. Not $250, but $255. Either way, at either price, they should be premium, because that's expensive. Now, another thing I'm seeing a lot of people mad at, not just this pair, but also the Houston and the Las Vegas pairs will be available first at Complex Con in Las Vegas on October 25th to the 26th. Now, I could kind of get if Complex Con in Las Vegas had the Mojave pair for Vegas early, but all three pairs, I don't know. I kind of see it because they should drop first in Atlanta, Vegas, and Houston for the locals. But as for a release date outside of the Complex Con date, they're going to drop on November 22nd. And like I mentioned, the retail price will be $255. Now, aside from Complex Con, this pair will be available in Atlanta. I don't know the specific retailers just yet. I do hope Nike puts out a list of retailers that will have them. We have a first look at the upcoming Jayson Tatum Jordan World Tour pack. Now, this pack will consist of two pairs, the Jordan Tatum 4 and the Air Jordan 11 Low IE. Now, this will be another regional exclusive pack, and this is one of 4 colorways. Now, I was supposed to leak this information sometime back, but I was getting around to it. Actually, I was supposed to leak it in this video, but the image is already leaked, so I'll add in some additional details that aren't available everywhere. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if they're available anywhere else. I did post it on the website. I don't know if anybody actually used the information, but what you're looking at is the Tokyo exclusive. Now, it seems that some of the colorways have kind of changed, because I do have a list of them, but overall they feature a mixture of white and blue. The 11 Low IE has an aged outsole. But for this pack, I like the color blocking. I like the white and blue used. I think if the 11 Low IE dropped by itself, like this, I would pick it up. Now, aside from them dropping in Tokyo, specifically at the Tokyo 23 store, they're also going to be released in St. Louis, London, and Shanghai. This will be different colorways, not this colorway. But for the Tokyo pair, which is shown, they're going to drop on October 23rd. Now, I heard that the pack was going to be released in 2026, so it seems that they pushed them forward. Although we could see the additional packs drip out leading into 2026. And unfortunately, I don't have a retail price. Alright, so I will admit I'm officially late on this information, but there's a reason why. And before I get into that reason, yes, the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG Shy Pink pack is expected to drop summer 2026. Now, this information was first reported by Sneaker Market RO and Brandonian. Shout out to both of them, they're reliable. However, for collaborations, I still want to hold off and ensure it from my sources just to make 100% sure it's happening. Still, it could be scrapped because, as you guys remember, there was supposed to be a Shy Pink Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG collab dropping this year, earlier in the year, but they were canceled. So instead of being like a traditional YouTuber rushing to YouTube to post a video, trying to be first with it, I held back, I waited, wanted to make sure this was concrete information. But no disrespect to those guys, they're my friends, I talk to them pretty often. I just wanted to make sure. So we have two colorways. The first one is dressed in muslin, shy pink, cell, and university red. And the second features a cell, tropical pink, shy pink, and muslin colorway. Now, both pairs are a mock-up. However, the pair dressed in muslin, shy pink, cell, and university red reflects the pair that Travis Scott was somewhat recently spotted in. Now, it isn't confirmed if that's going to be the retail release or not. It does seem very possible. So we could expect the pair to feature a light shade of pink on the base. University red would land on the backward swoosh, as well as branding on the heels. Now, as for the second colorway, 100% speculation. Don't know how they'll look. Now, if they look like the mock-ups, I would prefer the second pair. I'm not a huge fan of the red on the pink. I think the second pair looks more clean. Now, as for a specific release date, unfortunately, I don't have one, but they were recently, and I mean recently, added to the summer 2026 lineup. So that means a release will take place between April and June. Also, the retail price will be $155 each. Let me know your thoughts on both colorways. If they drop just like this, would you buy? Alright, I have more leaks for fall 2026 from Jordan Brand, so this will be exclusive to this video. And the first pair I'm going to talk about is the Air Jordan 17 Low Black Patent. Now, the image used is a mock-up. However, from my sources, I was told that the pair will somewhat resemble that of the OG Air Jordan 17 Low Black Chrome. That pair dropped back in 2002. However, the biggest difference is that it'll feature patent leather on the upper. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too sure how I feel about it. Yes, it'll depend on how it actually looks. But if it looks just like this mock-up, I definitely will need time for it to grow on me. Now, I'm happy that we're seeing more Air Jordan 17s drop, but personally, I would probably like to see the black and chrome pair release again over these. So for now, all I can confirm is that they'll be covered in mostly black and it'll feature patent leather on the upper. So minor things could change on this shoe. Now, as for a specific release date, unfortunately, I don't have one. But since it's part of Jordan Brand's fall 2026 collection, they're going to drop sometime between July and September. Also, I don't have a retail price as of yet. Now, I know some people are going to be happy about this, and we have the return of the Air Jordan 8 Chrome in fall 2026. I know in previous videos I've seen comments asking for this pair to return, especially when we had releases like the winterized pair and stuff like that. Now, this seems to be a pretty popular colorway, although it's not an OG. They initially dropped in 2003. I remember back in 2003, I had a pair. Actually, let me rephrase that. My friend had a pair. I wound up taking them and just wearing them all the time. I think that was the only time I took a friend's shoe and just made it mine. Back in junior high, my friends and I, we used to swap shoes for the day. I would never do that now. But yeah, my friend had them. I really liked them. He wound up letting me keep them, of course. I didn't just outright steal them. But also, I remember that they sat, so they were available at a lot of places. I was really broke back then, so I wasn't about to drop that kind of money on them. But then we saw another release take place in 2015. I feel that release got the pair a bit more popular. I think just the overall fact of the simple color blocking, easy to match with. And the pair will feature a black and chrome colorway. Now they're going to look like the 2015 release and the 03, with the exception of the shape being updated. So the mold you've seen on the playoffs, the aquas, the recent retros, they're going to have that same shape. Now, I don't have a release date, but fall 2026 is when they're expected to drop, which means a release will take place between July and September. Also, the retail price will be $215. Jordan Brand is getting sneaky, and I've said this in the past, and I'll get more on that in a moment, but I can confirm that the Air Jordan 9 OG Space Jam will return in fall 2026. So I'm going to talk about the Space Jam nickname in a moment, but the reason why I'm saying they're getting sneaky is that I had this information for about 2 weeks now. Technically, I had it. So the pair, the colorway, was listed as white multicolor. I can't really do much with that. But what threw me off, they were initially labeled the Air Jordan 9 Playoff. And that stumped me because, as you guys know, MJ did not play in the Air Jordan 9, not initially in 93, nor was he playing in the NBA. Yes, he did in later years wear the Air Jordan 9, but that was the cool gray. So either somebody at Nike or Jordan Brand messed up, they did a typo, or somebody's just over there collecting a check, they don't really know the history, and they labeled it as playoff. But yes, the pair will return in 2026. Now, the Space Jam nickname came in 2016. Initially, they were just known as OG or White, Black, and Red, but in 2016, the movie Space Jam was celebrating its 20th anniversary, so Jordan Brand also helped celebrate by dropping these, labeling them Space Jam, and we saw the Space Jam Air Jordan 11 drop. Now, MJ did wear this pair in the movie Space Jam. It was when he was training with the Looney Tunes. And then there was another scene where the Air Jordan 9 was spotted in. It had Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny attempting to steal the shoes. Now, this pair initially dropped in 1993, and then we saw the first retro take place in 2002. Another retro came in 2008, which was part of the Countdown pack. The pack helped celebrate the release of the Air Jordan 23 and was packaged with the Air Jordan 14. Only 2 years later, we saw another release take place in 2010, and then the last time they dropped was in 2016. Now, we've seen a golf pair drop, a low-top version, and they even had a Fusion. Now, some of you may know this, but in 2026, the movie Space Jam is celebrating its 30th anniversary. So the return makes sense. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I've been hearing some rumors, but don't be surprised if another pair associated with the film releases too. But as for the release info, they're going to drop fall 2026, which means a release will take place between July and September, and the retail price is expected to be $215. Let me know your thoughts on this pair returning down below. I'm excited. I've always liked this colorway. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. I do have more leaks to go over, so expect another news video either Monday or Tuesday. As well, I do have to put together a holiday 2025 Air Jordan release dates video. I've been meaning to do that, so hopefully I get that done by next week as well. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.